G'day! In today's video I'm going to be talking about troubleshooting a mining rig. Granted, most gamers do not like mining, but there are people out there that do it, and there are people that do need assistance with it. So in this particular video, I'm not going to really give you direct answers on what to try, but I will be giving you ideas on what to try and troubleshoot. So for example, this particular rig is running an older 3rd generation Intel processor, and this particular one has 7 slots on it available. And there's been various breakout boards to be able to get it to go, or risers. So for example, this is one of them here. And let's say you set up your whole rig, you have all your graphics cards installed, you hit the power button, goes okay for a bit, you start mining, and it either hard locks or a card drops out. One of the first things I'll be looking at is one of these. You may hear it, we just had a sapphire card kick up into gear. Right now it's just finished benchmarking nice hash, and away it goes. So first of all, check these. Even if you suspect that they are good, still swap it with another one, even mix and match and see if particular cards will drop out. First thing I'd recommend doing though is simplifying it. So right now I've got 3 AMD graphics cards running, a 480, a 480 and a 580. What I've done there is I've simplified it down. I've done a fresh reinstall of Windows onto an SSD, I've put the drivers on, I've put nice hash on, and I'm currently, first of all I tried them using directly on the motherboard slots to diagnose if there's anything wrong there, and then I've switched them back to being on their risers. Granted, I've gone through a various combination. I have had one hard lock with it. I believe that was a mismatch of cards. And then before this, I also tested out 4 1070s using a very similar method. I started off with the graphics cards directly in the PCI slots, doing one at a time, running the mining software for 10 minutes, half an hour, and then switching cards. So I can try and determine if it's the card, if it's the data communication, or if it's the power. So if you're using various splitters, there are varying grades of these. So do be careful, or do try and mix and match with what you know is good. Granted, your mining setup may be more complex or maybe more similar than what this is. But we need to make sure A, the operating system's good, B, the drivers are installed, C, your mining software is running correctly. But I've just simply gone with nice hash purely from a troubleshooting perspective. I click start, it runs a benchmark, and then it goes. I don't have to worry about too much more. Then we've got to be concerned about communication. You may have a bad USB cable, you may have a bad 1x riser. There is various issues that may come up that shouldn't really come out. So what you got to do is mix and match combinations. I've tried to stick it with also just brands, so I've been sitting with the GeForce cards to begin with, and then I've switched it over to AMD cards. Next up, I'll try a combination of the two. Granted, in the past I'm used to Windows not liking having both graphics cards installed. Nowadays with 10 it's not really too much of an issue. It still may be, but typically with mining I would usually recommend to stick with whatever brand of card that you purchase, be it AMD or Nvidia. There's really not too many other things I could suggest. The other one is power supplies. This one does have a 24-pin splitter to jump both the power supplies at once. Granted, in my current setup that I've got here for this customer, I'm only using one power supply, the lesser quality power supply, to run a SATA hard drive. So it's really not doing much. Granted, I would prefer, rather than using various adapters or splitters to jump the power supplies, to simply just get a much greater power supply. So for example, these 3 cards right here, if I have a look at little look at my amp reader, currently, what are we running? Currently these 3 cards here are running at 575 watts. So that's including board, that's everything here, excluding one SSD, which would be using very minimal. So if you were going with something like a 6, 7, 8 card setup, I'd be looking at probably a minimum of 1500 watts. Averaging out, each card probably uses about 150 to 200 watts each. So do the math there for your particular setup. There's really not much more that I could suggest with this particular machine. So check your data, check your power, check your cards individually, mix and match, and see how you go from there. Bye.